3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hello and welcome, everyone. There we are. Hello and welcome, everyone, to Truth, Beer, and Consequences. Yay, indeed, Julia. Yay, indeed. This is a podcast where my co-hosts and I listen to and watch all of the Cincinnati-based craft beer media from the previous week. We get together at a podcast host, and today we are back at Higher Gravity Summit Park. Thank you, Higher Gravity, for being a gracious podcast host. Now, my name is Marco, and I am in the alcohol space in the Cincinnati world. Yeah. I also did brew beer for several years at a...
And it was good beer,
small,
too.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Small craft brewery here in the greater Cincinnati area. That other voice you hear belongs to the best co-host in Podcastlandia.
I am Julia, and I just want to say I don't even know if you listen anymore, if you ever did, but congratulations to my nephew Cameron and to his new wife. I am beyond elated for them, and just, I don't know, it's just wonderful. It's wonderful. I love you both, and wanted to shout that out for all of the world or whoever listens to this podcast to hear that my nephew has a wife, and I love it.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful.
So
very happy, and I can tell how happy and just how beaming you are about it, and so that's wonderful. Also, I want to give a preemptive shout out to all the mothers out there.
For Mother's Day.
Mother's Day coming up.
And a big shout out to all of the Cincinnati breweries that brought home medals at the World Beer Cup that just happened this past week.
Yeah.
We don't have a full list, but
we've done that in the past. And,
yes.
You know
who you are. You all have very well-deserved medals, and I look forward to buying even more of your award-winning beers as, Nick runs the coffee grinder.
Yeah. You know what? Let's get through this. Go to one of those award-winning breweries and get a beer.
Let's do it.
All right. So
we only have. Sorry, go ahead.
No. So we only have two
shows,
pieces of content.
Yeah.
To cover in depth. I will say that Adam Makes Beer is recording either today or tomorrow. So that's coming up. We did have a couple of beers episode come out about Cinco de Mayo, which was yesterday.
They also released one, I believe it was today, about the World Beer Cup winners.
Okay.
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
I haven't either,
no.
and it didn't show up in my notifications because I don't know why, but typically they release on Thursdays. So the one they released on Thursday was about Cinco de Mayo. I did not see the World Beer Cup winners, but cool. Good on you. And so... that being said, so the thoughts and opinions on this podcast are ours and ours alone. They do not reflect any entity which we may be affiliated with that has breweries or bottle shops or higher gravity, second jobs, third jobs, anything like that.
Full-time jobs,
full-time jobs, first jobs, anything.
Although I think both of us are speaking for the gnarly Gnome tonight because he's not here to...
Because he's not here, so we're going to speak for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. So if you don't like anything we say, at him.
Yeah.
This would not be a good craft beer podcast if we weren't drinking some type of craft beverage. It could be beer, it could be wine.
It wouldn't be.
It could
now,
be coffee,
whether it is or not
whatever.
is debatable.
This is true. What are you drinking?
I am having Rounding Third from MadTree.
Excellent. And
which they probably don't have across the way because they struggle to keep beer on tap.
I would say I'm tired of complaining about it, but I'm not. But I'm not going to complain about it because I think they know.
I think they know. I do think they know. And as the weather gets nicer, I think we're going to have more walks and more reasons to stop and hang out at MadTree. And hopefully the beer selection is up to what they expect. And that's what I think is that they're having opening hiccups.
They wanted to start slow. That's what I'm hoping.
Okay.
You know me, silver lining.
That's right.
I always look for the
you've
positive.
Always been that way.
Yes,
always been
absolutely.
That way. Yep.
And I almost said all day cafe, and that's 100% not the brewery.
Should be a beer.
All. Should be a beer. I just completely blanked because I'm trying to think about 15 different things at once.
No, you're having Best Day Kolsch.
Best Day, not all day. Best Day Kolsch. It is a non-alcoholic because we have plans They may happen, they may not. So I am making sure that that I zebra stripe responsibly.
Yeah.
To use a Barstool Perspectives term.
Let's go ahead and dig into it then. Barstool
Perspective? Absolutely. Let's go for it. This was the episode that they had live on May the 2nd, 2025. I was not present in the chat because at the time they were going live, my nephew was getting married, and that took precedence. So, Brett, Mike, not sorry. It was still a good show, even watching after the fact.
So you weren't like, I would imagine, some people at the Met Gala where they were pulling up like playoff basketball or playoff hockey on their phones.
No, I was.
Wedding, so I'm going to skip Bruce Guy's Barstool Perspective.
I was fully engaged in the family activities.
Okay.
And honestly, I don't even think that I remembered or noticed my phone notifications going off that they went live because... Family first. We have always said that.
We have
always
said that.
They opened the show, and this is my one complaint about Barstool Perspective, which hopefully they can address because we know they're big listeners of the show. We know that they hang on every word we say.
I think we say that so that you think we're funny, you, the audience, think we're funny. I think they hang on every one of our words.
It is quite possible because they started. And I think they go live, and as soon as producer Dan says, and go, Mike or Brett start talking.
They were talking about
Mike.
sip counts.
They were talking about sip counts.
Yep.
And apparently, Barstool Perspective is a no-sip zone. They don't count sips. They don't record the number of drinks.
They don't need to, because we do
it. We do it for them. So
Julia has a clicker.
I have 2 clickers.
Yeah, 2 clickers.
I have 2 clickers, so huge shout out to...
Thanks to one of the biggest podcasts
in Cincinnati. Yes, according to ChatGPT.
Yeah, Shift Beers.
Shift Beers, yes.
For sending you a clicker. And
no.
And to the gnarly Gnome.
They didn't.
For sending you a clicker.
The Gnome sent me a clicker. Shift Beers gave me a clicker. One showed up in an Amazon box on my front doorstep, and my Josh is like, "What did you order?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
How do you not know what you ordered? Legitimately, I don't know if I was drunk and did I drunk order this? I had no idea how that clicker
this
happened.
Is fun. What's the last thing you drunk ordered? Dick's potato chips was for me.
No.
Last thing I drunk ordered was Dick's potato chips. And by the way,
mine's so much better
I
than
only
that.
want to do them that way.
Drunk?
Yes. I only want to order Dick's drunk. Jason, just letting you know, I only order Dick's potato chip drunk. But I need them. I need them.
The last thing that I ordered drunk, and this is 100% true, was a Coleman tent from Amazon.
Okay.
Because I'm like, oh, Josh and I are going to go camping. This is going to be great.
No, you're not.
And you haven't used.
You're not of camping age.
What?
You are not of ground camping age.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yes, it would be very painful.
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes after we're like, okay, we're going to go to bed. 5 minutes we'll both be like, this is not happening. No.
There is definitely...
If we bring an inflatable mattress, maybe.
Oh, man. It's still rough.
Oh, it's still very rough.
It's still rough.
Maybe I'll set it up in the living room and we'll do like...
Oh, play,
indoor camp.
like play,
exactly.
Yeah,
put like a picture or a video of a campfire on the TV.
Yeah, sure.
That's what we'll do.
Yep.
But yes, a legitimate Coleman tent is the last thing that I drunk ordered.
And how long ago was that?
It's been a couple of years.
It's funnier
it's
if you
been a while.
said,
I know, yesterday.
Yesterday. It's for future, how I set up jokes.
Sorry.
Julia.
Oh, man,
No
I failed miserably. But yeah, let's transition back to Barstool Perspectives.
Not going to mansplain that. Just
Jesus, thank you.
Yeah.
Marco and Noma mansplained a whole bunch of things to me before we started recording.
We were just playing, and you know that.
You say that, but I'm starting to take it personally. Not
no,
really.
You're not.
No, I'm not. Not at all. Okay, so Barstool Perspectives, they are a no-sip zone, which is fine because, again, we do the counting for them. They don't have to worry about how much they are or are not sipping. We will tell them. They started off the show with some amazing news, some good news, some positive news for once. Bush Apple is back.
Now, I have seen this. I have seen this product because I stop in the local liquor store to my house. Mm-hmm. Like I have walked to it before. It's within walking distance.
Sure.
So I've stopped in there and I'm like, it's Bush Apple.
Let's move on to the Craft Brewers Conference happened.
Yeah.
There was a new CEO who is a champion ultimate Frisbee player. So congratulations, Danny, for your new role as CEO of the Craft Brewers Conference.
He is a champion
because he is
ultimate
ultimate Frisbee player.
Yes.
And apparently he did not mince words at the conference, and he said the state of craft beer kind of sucks right now.
Mid, actually,
It's
I think
mid.
was the quote.
I think the direct quote
The quote was mid.
Things are mid, which sounds like a downer, but I am kind of on Brett's side where I appreciate the honesty instead of the, man, everything is awesome, and, everything is great.
Everything
and
is awesome.
Exactly.
Everything is...
Because everyone that's in the industry knows that it's
tough.
not.
It's
so
tough.
Stop fucking pretending. Like, you can have an optimistic spin or an optimistic view on the state of how things are, but when you are talking to people in the industry, don't just flat out lie to them and say everything's great when they know that their businesses are suffering.
Well, I think that's the big thing is you can't sugarcoat the fact that business is tough.
Sure.
And places who are killing it are still doing well, but, not as well. And places who were barely scraping by, might not be making it anymore.
Right.
And, it's tough. Just be real. Just be honest. And that, but also, since what you are is an organization to help advance the best interests of the craft breweries.
Right.
Tell us what your plan is and what you're going to do to help us with, legislation. And I'm trying to get around, saying the T word. But give us that direction, that sort of focus. What are you going to do there?
Right. Agreed 100%. 100%. Moving on from the Craft Brewers Conference, which was in Indianapolis, it was very close. I actually looked into how much a ticket would be for me to go as someone not in the industry, and no thank you, I don't have that kind of extra money to spend, but who knows, maybe in the next few years I will make it to one of the conferences because it sounds like a hell of a lot of fun.
I'm in the industry. I don't know how much a ticket is because I'd never been.
I looked into this a couple months ago. I think for someone not in the industry, just to go to the trade floor part, so not even access to the actual talks and everything.
Yeah.
It was almost $500.
Oh no!
And I'm like, nope.
No one is going to go to that.
For someone in the industry, it's only like $100 or $200 for everything. That okay, cool. But for me, who I don't have a code, I don't have any way of saying that
we need to figure that out. I don't know where the next one's going to be, but we need to figure that out. Yeah. Like we can't.
How can we pretend that Julia's in the industry? From there,
I don't think you're pretending. You're in the industry.
I'm passionate about the industry. You and I have different ideas of in the industry, and we've talked about this before.
Sure.
And yeah, I don't know. But if a discount can happen, if that can happen, I'm all in. I won't say no. I'll let you see what you can do for me next year. How about that? Sounds good. There we go. Dad's Strength Beer.
It's so stupid.
Get ready to start judging people again based on what they're drinking for these 2.9% beverages, which I have nothing against a good table beer. If the flavor is there and it's 3%, I can drink a ton of them while I'm either out and about or at home or what. I don't have a problem with lower ABV beers. I mean, hell, I'm drinking an NA right now. My issue is with how they try to promote them.
It's just so weird calling something dad beer or mom water
or girl beer or what. It's just
fuck off with all that sort of advertising spin. It's just like
quit segmentizing. I don't know if that's a word, but
sounds good. I like it.
Quit putting drinkers into silos based off of a style or an ABV level or something like that. It's beer. Let people enjoy whatever they want to drink, and don't make them feel that they shouldn't be drinking something because they are not a certain way, because they don't fit into a certain category. I've had some, I'm trying to remember where it was. I had an absolutely amazing, I think it was like 3% or just under 3% beer within the last month or two. Oh my God, I'm blanking. I wish I could remember where that was. It was absolutely delicious, and I loved the fact that I could be at a brewery and drink 3-4 of these and still know I'm okay when we're ready to leave to get home. I don't have to try to play that mathematical game in my head of, okay, if I get this beer next, I need to make sure that, this food is consumed or that we wait an extra hour before we leave. Just let people drink what they want to drink. I don't like the those names like dad beer or girl beer. Yeah. That's dumb. You come out with a product and it's a clear malt beverage. You call it a Zima, and everyone kind of gets hyped about it. I don't think any dads are hyped about dad beer. Like, are moms hyped about mom water or whatever it is?
No, I don't think so.
There are some people that do lean into like the mom water, the dad beer, like that lean into those labels, but don't quit forcing it on people. You know what I mean?
I'm a mom. I should like this water.
Right,
no, that's dumb.
Right.
That's stupid thinking.
Quit making people feel like they have to fit a certain mold to drink a certain type of beer. That's not what it's about. Drink what you want to drink. Enjoy what you want to enjoy, period. If someone judges you for it and they're not being like Marco and I and just teasing each other about it, fuck them. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's move on to Alaska. They are the first.
Oh, this place. Jesus.
Yeah, they are the first.
Here we go. Buckle up, people. Strap it on.
First state to to require cancer warnings on stores that sell liquor and beer. So
that's fine. Whatever. Put a cancer warning in everything. There's a cancer warning on your furniture when you buy it.
There is.
I mean, there's a cancer warning on your furniture. There's a cancer warning on your mattress. I don't give a fuck.
I think we've talked about this in previous episode.
Matter.
Everything gives you cancer anymore.
No, they can't determine what gives you cancer, so they put a cancer warning on everything.
There are some national beers that do already have like a cancer warning on the label, but Alaska is saying there has to be an actual sign somewhere in the facility that is selling beer and liquor saying that there is a cancer risk.
That there have been proven identified things that give you cancer.
Sure,
I think that there are warnings on a bunch of things that they have no idea. Every microwave should come with a cancer warning. All you need is an 8x12 sign that says,
this
may cause, birth defects and cancer. Like, okay, fine. Like, sell me my 12-pack. And by the way, to bleed into the next story, why did you confiscate this guy's plane for 13 years?
Oh, my God.
And then decide...
For 72 beers.
For 72 beers. And decide it's constitutionally okay to confiscate his plane. Fuck you, Alaska. And look, I'm never going. I'm never going. It's in America. It's an American thing.
Watch this episode of Barstool Perspectives to find out why Alaska confiscated someone's plane over 72 beers, 3 cases of beer.
Find out why somebody.
That's it.
Let's pretend it's a plane.
Yes.
Let's pretend it's a car.
Okay.
And I was driving. Now you can't drive to Alaska.
Let's just say that you drove from Ohio to Kentucky.
You drove from Ohio to Kentucky with 3 cases of beer.
Yes.
And somebody snitched, and they caught you taking 3 cases of beer into Kentucky. And Kentucky decided they were going to take your $100,000 car.
Yes.
For 13 years, this court case...
For $13 worth of beer.
This court case remained in the courts, and at the very end of it, the court said, no, that was fine. Yeah, well, we can keep your car.
Amazing. Like astounding in the worst way possible.
3 cases of shitty beer.
Yeah.
Like, fuck all the way off.
Another topic that I don't want to spend a ton of time on just because we have no idea what the hell is going on with it. And it could become very political. Ohio's Farm Bill that covers the sale of hemp-derived products such as THC beverages is under review and potential regulation to where it can only be sold at Ohio State liquor agencies. Now, I am all for there being some regulations on the sale of THC beverages. I think that's not a bad thing. Limited to 21 and up, being able to purchase it, that type of stuff. But limiting the actual location that it can be purchased at is just going to hurt small businesses like
it will,
like the local breweries that are making
or
these
like
products,
Higher Gravity,
that are
who
selling
has
these
an
products.
entire cooler
case. Well, yes,
full of THC
Yes.
beverages.
Absolutely. Now, the current thought is it's not going to pass, it passed the House. It's not going to pass the Senate, or am I getting that backwards?
Pass and not going to pass the
gonna
House.
But still, it brings up a lot of questions.
Not going to pass the House, and then there's a budget hearing coming up in June.
Yes.
And then there's a recess, and so nothing's expected to happen within the next few months.
Right. But still, it could potentially change the entire landscape of what we have become used to. As far as, and again, I'm all for, because I guess, as it stands now, like a 12-year-old could walk in and buy a THC beverage, which, again, that's, to me, that's on that establishment. I know at Higher Gravity, they would be like, no, I'm sorry, but we're not selling you this. So some regulations, I think, are fine. You know what I mean? Depending on how they do it.
Sure.
But, man, that line, that's a fine one to walk between being overly asinine about how you are handling this and common sense. Just like beer. You know what I mean? You wouldn't...
Well, I think the thing is that Ohio has been so... friendly and common sense on the beer front. This one's a little bit stickier.
Well, it's still illegal on a federal level, so it has to. I sticky
Thank
icky.
you.
I do. Very nice.
So, Julie, it was a marijuana joke.
Oh, thank you for mansplaining that one to me. As we come full circle into you assuming I don't know what you're talking about. A couple more stories to touch on for Barstool Perspective. Hard lemonade is making a comeback, but nobody knows who's drinking them.
Is it a comeback?
Can it be
a comeback if you've never been here?
Or if you never really went away. It's always been on the shelves.
Yeah.
But somehow, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, hey, this is a thing again. It never left.
No
one buys it, but it never went away. It never. I don't know. Good for them. If there's a company that is making a profit off of hard lemonade, cool, good,
fine.
All right, yeah, right.
You're welcome to try and make a profit from this product.
Well,
I don't know who buys this.
Let's see. What else do we have here? They had a revelation that they may not actually like the beer industry, and by they, Mike and Brett, which was an interesting. I don't want to call it a rabbit hole that they went down, but it was an interesting point of conversation that they discussed for a few minutes in this episode.
Correct.
They might not actually.
I thought that was fun. You should listen just for that.
Yes, 100%. And then the good news story of the week, or the good story of the week, Texas wine is the newest big thing in the wine industry sphere. Keeping it local.
So everything's bigger in Texas.
Yes. Including the grapes.
Seems that, I got your grapes. But it seems like the Texas wine industry, is leaning heavy into the tourism industry. It's leaning heavy into, look at me and all that. And that's great. Good. Is it good wine? I don't know. If I ever get the chance to know, I'll let you know.
In the essence of time.
Yeah, let's go.
I have the sip count.
Okay.
And I have a multiple choice question.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yep. Are you, what do you want first?
I want the sip count.
All right. Mike, even though they don't do sips on their shows, that's not for them. That's for us.
Yeah.
So they cannot do sips. It can be a no sip zone all they want. I'm still going to count them because I have 2 clickers. What else am I going to do with those things? Mike took...
Well, that's what they're called, clickers. Okay.
You know what?
Call them something different when I was dating my wife.
Mike took 16 sips.
All right.
Brett took 23.
Okay, very good.
Very, very nice. That is a total of 39 sips in this just shy of 38-minute episode.
Okay. All right, very good.
That is 78 ounces if you're playing our drinking game, or 4.875 pints. That is almost...
5 pints.
That's a sip a minute.
Yeah, 5 pints
That's a lot.
in
37 minutes and
minutes.
45 seconds.
You are pounding it.
You're
Ma'am.
going to be having a rough time if you survive.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, and then the multiple choice question.
Let's go.
What are women afraid of?
Okay, very good.
Is it A, the Dadcore revival?
Okay.
Is it B, Brett's White Claw Summers?
All right.
Or is it C, asking Michael brings the D Morgan out?
All right. Julia's a D.
God, you know what? I thought it was only that big when Gnome was here, but Jesus.
Yeah.
Good God.
All right, hold on. I got it. All right. All right. Is it D, Julia? It was in when Michael brings the D. Morgan, tries to explain what's happening with Tilray.
Oh my God, that is pretty damn bad. Watch this episode.
Yeah,
and
my
find
option
out.
was pretty damn bad.
It's
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
That
Yeah.
I hate it.
Wasn't that witty?
All right, we'll take a quick break and we will be
Right back.
All right, I'm still drinking my NA because again we have a couple plans after this. What are you drinking right now?
I'm drinking Headhunter by Fatheads,
Is that
an
new?
award-winning brewery.
Excellent. That is one of the things that we mentioned in the beginning of the show. Well, no, we mentioned Cincinnati breweries in the beginning of the show. We will talk a little bit about that in our recap of the Weekly Pint, episode 260. The schnappening was Nixta, the corn booze or the Mexican moonshine that he's had before.
Yep.
I kind of want to find a bottle to have some because...
Or we can just go to the bar, the Gnome, the Gnarly Gnome
Bar.
Tavern.
Do you have the code to his garage? Because, I mean, we could... Like, he's not there right now.
Yeah.
We could just...
I bet
go.
it's just Gnome. I mean, do you think it's more difficult than that?
One way to find out.
Yeah.
One way to find out. I'm going to say this wrong, so Marco, I need your help with this. Fonio grain beers
Okay.
are Gnome's newest obsession. They are the sustainable beers. Rheingeist and MadTree are both making beers
I don't know what the shit that is.
made with those grains. He talked about it on last week's episode, too.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks ago. I don't
Okay.
know. I could look at my notes, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
But it's a very sustainable grain. He's kind of obsessed with them right now.
All
They
right.
give kind of a fruity flavor to the beers that aren't normally fruity.
Yeah.
I need to try some, but I don't think they have any across the park. So that'll require a trip to Oakley to do.
Okay.
For his
Which we have done.
beverages, we have. For his beverages of the night, he decided to drink 4 canned margaritas
Yeah.
for the not Mexican Independence Day holiday.
Correct.
So check your history, people.
Cinco de Mayo, not Mexican Independence Day.
He drank, and this is in no particular order, the Cutwater Lime Margarita,
Yeah.
Seagram's Classic Lime Margarita,
Huh?
Rita's Limerita, which we determined was just Bud's Limerita,
Correct.
and Clubtail Sunny Margarita.
Yeah.
He decided to drink them from worst to best, which, how did he figure out which is which? We told him, we said, you should drink them in this order, and he went,
Crowdsource.
Okay.
Tiering.
So if you watch this episode, or I guess if you listen to it on the podcatcher, you can hear or see if the crowd was correct, which one was
Yeah.
the worst and which one was the best. He probably had a hell of a good night, because some of those were very high ABV.
High ABV, high
Yes.
sugar.
Yes. The sugar is really what gets you.
Just really, yeah. It's
Do you-
rough.
Do you think he has diabetes now?
No, I just
Close
thought
to.
he had a hangover this morning.
Oh, absolutely. There's no way
Yeah.
he didn't. He actually only talked about 2 topics in this episode, because
Yeah.
a lot of it was he was trying to get through 4 different margarita beverages.
Well, let's rip through it.
The first one, the World Beer Cup, which we mentioned at the beginning of this
Yeah.
episode. 5 medals went to Cincinnati breweries: Third Eye, Brink, Wandering Monsters, and Fretboard.
Yeah.
And I think that just in case we don't make it to some of these breweries when the Michiganites come down, I think I'm going to try to at least get a 6-pack of some of those award-winning beers to give to our friends the next time that they are in town. I think they would enjoy it.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
The Truth Beer Pod buys them and gives them to them.
Yes. That is what some of your Patreon funds are going to.
Yeah.
Yes, which, again, to all of our Patreons out there,
thank you.
We don't say it enough, but we really, really appreciate you.
Really appreciate it.
It is.
Really appreciate it.
It's awesome, and hopefully you enjoy the extra content that you get out of each episode. And then the other topic that Gnome talked about, Rheingeist announced some non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
Ghost Haze and Ghost Pills, per the rumors, per the social media posts.
Right.
Rheingeist doesn't really half-ass anything, so I am excited to try these whenever they come out in whatever format they come out in. Because I will admit, I am still looking for that good non-alcoholic beverage to end my night with, or if I would like a beer, but I know that I have other things going on to where drinking isn't really in the cards if I'm going to drive somewhere. Right. The Guinness NA so far to me has been one of the best NA beers out there. But I'm looking for something that really hits that IPA side, that Kolsch side, that ale, that lager, whatever Kolsch? It is. It's pretty good. There's still something missing though, and I don't know that I can pinpoint exactly what it is. But I wouldn't mind drinking this. This was an excellent.
I know what it is.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what is missing. It tastes great. Other than that, it tastes great. Other than that,
sure. So I'm excited to see what Rheingeist can do with this because, again, they very rarely do put out a new idea poorly, if that makes sense.
I have, over the past 6-8 months, had many non-alcoholic options.
Sure.
And for quite a while, I abstained from alcohol and was using those as flavor options.
Sure, yeah.
And so I tried many. And if I could never have beer again, it would be sad. However,
there are some good options.
There are some good options, but they're missing all of them. All of them are missing something. Now, is it alcohol? I don't know.
I mean, alcohol does impart a taste, a flavor, a something to the beverage, and I don't think that anyone is trying to argue against that. But there's just something.
But the best ones are not athletic.
No, I don't.
They're not. And I think
Untitled Art makes some really good ones, but I think that's because of the amount of sugars that they put in them.
Even better ones.
They make some great ones. Again, the Guinness is
better ones than
fantastic.
Better ones than athletic.
Sure, yeah.
But the thing is, athletic was the first one to go all in and saying, I'm making better non-alcoholics.
Right. They have the reach. They have the shipping. They have
and they were first to market to be able to be across the country with these better options.
Sure. Right. And I mean, I think Higher Gravity does a great job. They have, 2 full rows in the cooler full of NA options?
Yeah.
So they have some athletic, but they also have a lot of other options.
But the other thing is, if you're a person who decides or needs to have a non-alcoholic option and athletic is what they have, that's what you're going to drink.
Sure.
That's what you have.
Honestly, for me, if I go somewhere and I'm looking for a non-alcoholic option and all they have is athletic for that NA option, I'm getting water or pop. I'm not going to do athletic. I'm not going to pay that much money for something I'm not going to enjoy. Just give me a Coke. Give me, something else. That's just me. I mean, everyone can do what they want.
I don't drink soda. I don't drink Coke.
Right.
I don't drink Coke, Diet Coke. I don't
do water or lemonade. So, you know what I mean? But I don't
do lemonade, iced tea.
To me, athletic is not good enough for me to want to spend that kind of money if I'm looking for something without alcohol in it.
Yeah,
I just
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Kind of after the Rheingeist NA talk, everything just kind of spiraled out of control for the Weekly Pint, and it was just a conversation about how there was a need for margaritas post-dance recitals. Went down a rabbit hole about if Gnome would rather run in the heat or the rain.
Yeah.
Bringing back the whole Flying Pig thing since it was Flying Pig weekend this past weekend. Gnome is apparently an expert on canned margaritas right now, so if you want to know what should I drink if I'm looking for a good canned margarita, Gnome is who you ask. And the last note I have before the sip count and the multiple choice question, because yes, there is a multiple choice question this week as well. He ended the episode in the most spectacular way possible. He cuvées all of the margaritas that he had into a beverage for his wife and then asked, "Do you think I will survive the evening?"
Yeah.
Ended on a cliffhanger.
All right.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
Watch this episode. Follow it on the Instagram, the podcatchers, or YouTube or whatever. Tune in live Monday nights around 9:30-ish on Facebook and YouTube. It is the best way to do live interactions and to try to convince Gnome to drink whatever you want him to drink.
Yeah, be there.
Be there or be square, I guess that's what you say.
Yeah.
All right.
What the kids say.
The sniff and sip count, to kind of rush through this, he took 17 smells of all the different beverages that he had.
It's a lot of smells, actually.
It is, yes.
For him,
and
it's a high smell count.
He also had a higher than normal sip count. He took 14 sips.
That is a higher than average sip count.
He had 5 different beverages, so
very
it worked
good.
out. That is
very good.
So 31 total countables, 62 ounces, or 3.875 pints.
Okay.
In this hour and I think hour and 12-ish minute episode.
No, it's totally doable. Not a problem. You can handle that.
Unless you're drinking 18% canned margaritas. Then that could be problematic.
You could do it. I mean, the later would be, suspect.
Which leads to my multiple choice question for this episode.
Okay.
According to the Gnome, according to this episode
according to the gnarly Gnome
of the Weekly Pint, how big do you want your margaritas to be?
Yeah.
A, 16 ounces.
Yeah.
B, 24 ounces.
Yeah.
Or C, the limit does not exist.
Ah, that's right, Julia. Or D.
God damn, put that away.
69 ounces.
Ah, nice. All right, I know that this was a shorter-ish episode, and it's not Kolsch night, so normally they're not short episodes. But again, we have things that we want to try to get done this evening, so we are just running through everything. Is there anything else you want to say before I get into the outro for this episode?
No, I just want to thank everybody who's been with us a long time. We are very quickly approaching 13,000 downloads for this podcast about podcasts,
and so 200 episodes.
No.
We are recording episode. Let me flip back in my.
If we don't count Cincy beer events.
No. Just Truth, Beer, and Consequences. This is episode 197.
Yeah. So I just want to thank everyone who's along with the ride with us, and thank you very much. I truly appreciate your listenership, your time. I think everyone who's on Patreon agrees at least 60% of the extra content is funny. Mm-hmm. And so thank you to all of you. And I just also want to give a big thank you to Julia, who does so much for Truth, Beer, and Consequences. And back when we were meeting and talking and discussing equipment and all this other stuff, didn't know that I was going to have not only one of the best co-hosts in Podcastlandia, but also, one of the best, people to produce and submit all this stuff into the Podsphere, but also one of my best friends. So thank you, Julia.
Cheers to that, sir.
Cheers.
All right, with that being said, if you like what we've done, just go to truthbeerpod.com. That's where you'll find links to everything that we do, including how to sign up for our Patreon account. Just sign up for a month, binge a couple of the episodes, see the extra content that I cut out of the public-facing episodes, and if you like it, if you think that it's good, stay a member. If not, that's fine. No hard feelings.
And shout out to the Gnarly Gnome. Thank you for believing in us. The reason you're here is not just because you like us as people, but because you believe in our content, and I appreciate it. The show is lifted when you're here, and love you, buddy.
All right. With that being said, Marco, what are you going to be doing next Tuesday?
I think I'm supposed to be here doing this with you.
I hope so too.
I will defer to my calendar.
Sounds good. We will see you guys next week.
Cheers.
Bye.